I just have one question on childcare and early learning. I think one of the findings from the Auditor General was that things were maybe not documented or organized as well as they ought to be. And one of the big things that we heard throughout the pandemic, everyone will remember "stay the blazes home" as the famous phrase, but the other famous phrase, less appreciated, was organic childcare. And that was one that really, really rankled. And so one of the questions we got consistently was about childcare for essential workers, which I know is not within the scope, but I think it is because it goes to that decision-making and documentation piece. And I'm wondering, were there conversations about, giving essential workers more than organic childcare during the pandemic?
Ms. Halliday?
Thank you for the question. As we mentioned early in March or mid-March, the decision was made to close licensed childcare centers. We have unlicensed childcare available in our province. Many of you would know that as a grandparent, a neighbor, an aunt, uncle, someone in the community who delivers childcare out of their home. That's an acceptable form of childcare in our province as long as certain numbers are maintained. And the unlicensed childcare did remain to be available and an option for individuals who are seeking childcare options during that time. But that regulated childcare was part of the mandatory closure.
Ms. Chender?
I mean, I could talk about this all day, but I'm going to switch to some internet questions, but I will just momentarily editorialize and say I don't think that answered my question, which was what were discussions had. And in the spirit of learning forward, I would say that was a huge mistake. And we've seen the stress on our frontline workers. We've seen the shortages of essential workers. And I think that was a huge miss on the part of the province. But turning to the